I mean, I think the big project is to turn the United States from, say, a top 16 team to a top 10 team. Maybe it's a big job.
Well, you heard it in the pregame show with Alexei and Maka talking about that. That's why Jurgen was brought in, to close that gap. So when the World Cup comes around in 2014, the U.S. aren't intimidated playing the teams like Italy, France, England, and those teams.
And it's not going to happen overnight, that as well. But the encouraging thing is there's some good youngsters coming through. It'll be interesting to see how the U.S. get on in the Olympic Games, which is an under-23 competition. You are allowed 3 overage players.
Huge game for the Olympic team tonight as they play Mexico in Dallas.
Yep.
Good spot from Michael Bradley.
Nocerino. Maggio. Matri. He's only got 1 goal for his country in 4 appearances. This is the first time he's been in from the start, though. He's picked up a little knock there. Carlos Bocanegra doing well, just getting the foot in at the vital time. He's winning his 101st cap tonight, the skipper. Not quite sure Fabian Johnson wanted that ball there. This could be problems. Nocerino, well won back by Adu. He's having a fine game in there. He's run some important tackles, Taylor.
Clogging up passing lanes, but you said it best. Danny Williams has to be smart. You want to go into halftime not giving up any chances. That's a dangerous square ball to Fabian Johnson. Good spot from Maurice Adu.
Just might have to be a little cuter in attacking moves to unlock the miserly Italian defense. Oh, hit by Motta as it dropped. Won a lot of trophies in his time with Barcelona and Inter, didn't he, Thiago Motta? A lot of injuries as well in the past, which haven't helped his cause. Crescito. Maggio again, not a good enough quality ball in. He won't be too happy with that, I don't think. Cesare Prandelli, the coach, will want better than that. It's a good sign for the US if the Italians just become a little frustrated. Jurgen Klinsmann will know that, of course. I would think he'd be happy enough, wouldn't he, so far?
But this is a true test right here, going into halftime, making sure the scoreline stays the same. This is part of growing up on the road, having an understanding, game management. These are the little things, the mentality that Jurgen Klinsmann talked about yesterday with us, Ian. Having an understanding when to go for it and having an understanding when to see the game out.
I think the job now is to make sure they make no mistakes going in towards half-time. We're getting close to it now.
Exactly.
And they do get to half-time. It is goalless here. Taylor, your verdict?
It's exactly what Jurgen wanted. Coming forward, they got to be careful a little bit with Montri and Giovinco off that back shoulder of the center backs, but the U.S. good combination play down the flanks. They just need something at the end of it.
Can they see it through, though? Can they close the show? Or will the Italians unlock that defense at the end of this? Go back to the studio now. Let's get more comments with Bob Lee, Alexi Lalas, and Steve McManaman. Back to you, boys.
Thank you, Ian and Taylor. We'll be back to you for the second half kick in Genoa. Scoreless, U.S. getting the better of it. The latter stages of that second half. The United States have never defeated Italy. Will this be the evening? We'll take a look at the highlights, and there's something to talk about in a moment. Scoreless at the half, along with Steve McManaman and Alexi Lalas. I'm Bob Lee. One-sentence report card here.
I'll be honest, I was disappointed. I thought that there would be much more of a commitment to possession. I think at times they were okay going forward and getting some opportunities, but all in all, I don't think it showed where this team needs to be in terms of the advances over the last 7 months.
But still, they're level with Italy, in Italy.
Yeah, very much so. Bob, this is a difficult game, this. So, I mean, you know, they're doing okay. They're still in the game. Hopefully they can express themselves a little bit more in the second half. My only concern would be somebody has to close down Andrea Pirlo. He's the best player on the park at the moment. Huge amounts of time to knock passes over Goodson, over Boccanegra. That is a problem.
But that's a surprise? That's a surprise.
No, exactly.
That can't be a surprise.
Somebody should be tight on him.
Well, Tim Howard was called upon us. We'll take a look at some of the highlights. Understanding in the center back situation is an issue for the U.S., at least early on. And that attempt is Howard is able to make the attempt and get his body in front of it. This is offside, but still it shows you the danger.
Yeah, I mean, look at the time and space. And the problem is for the back four, at a certain point, they have to stop going backwards. But if you're not going to put any pressure on the ball, and look, these are set pieces. The U.S. is fine on set pieces. I'm not worried about the U.S. on set pieces. But in the flow of the play and an understanding defensively about how to pick up people, especially a Pirlo, you know, that's a problem.
All right, defensively. Let's talk offensively. All right, granted, Italy's defense, I mean, any tougher in the world? Probably not. I mean, we saw how stingy they were through European qualifying. Josie Altidore most advanced there. He took the nick to the hand. A report card on Josie in the first half.
I thought he's been okay, Bob. I mean, it is. I think we have to reiterate, it's difficult for the USA side going forward because defensively they need to be strong. You know, the Italians are big favourites in their own patch, so they have to be defensively strong. They don't want to throw the game away early on. So the level of bodies going forward is more difficult. But I thought Josie's held the ball up well. He's brought people into the game. USA do need to try and get more people up there, to try and help Josie Altidore, but hopefully that'll come as the game progresses.
And he's got to get stronger. He's got to get stronger when the ball gets up there, and you have to want it mentally to be the only player that's playing up there.
Do you see that he doesn't?
I don't. I don't.
You don't see it?
I just don't. You know, I don't see it now. The good part was at times they did nick the ball in some good positions, and they sent Josie through one, through on one, which he drew the foul, which was good. Another time Breck Shea got through. So the ability to make that transition, see the opportunity, and go quickly at this Italian defense will bring some joy.
Learning experience, and we'll see what step, if any, up the United States make. It is International Day around the globe. Greece and Belgium are 1-1 at the half. Portugal and Poland are scoreless. What's going on with England? We're not talking about this match necessarily, but who's going to manage them in the Euros? Argentina leading Switzerland, and France, they've taken the lead on Germany, and Venezuela and Spain, they are scoreless at the first half. And a major day in United States soccer as the class of 2012 for the Hall of Fame announced. Three gentlemen you had the pleasure of playing with: Tony Meola, Claudia Reyna, Desmond Armstrong elected, Alexi, and they richly deserve that.
All class on and off the field, well deserving, all of them.
And you can say the same about Tony DeCicco, of course, who won the World Cup for the women in 1999, our colleague last year of the 2011. Congratulations to them all. David Beckham and the Galaxy, are they the class of the field? Are they odds on in MLS? We'll talk about it as we come back, and then back to Genoa.
He is suffering from flu-like
conventional wisdom has LA Galaxy odds-on favorite. I know you to be an unconventional guy, but tell me, are the Galaxy you're picking? If so, why?
Well, when we left after the 2011 MLS Cup, there was a lot of question marks with the LA Galaxy. Was Beckham coming back? Was Juninho going to come back? Not only do they get those two players back, they add Edson Buttle. And I'd love to hear what Alexi's opinion is about this, because when was the last time we've seen a defending champion get better? They do have a question mark with Omar Gonzalez being out with the ACL, but if they can find anyone to fill that position, I just don't see anyone giving LA a run for their money.
Yeah, Gonzalez might be back late in the season. They got a hole to fill in the meantime.
Yeah, and I think there's plenty of teams MLS-wise out there that would disagree in terms of being able to give LA a run. I think that there are teams that will give LA a run. It's very difficult in MLS to repeat. But Taylor mentioned it, Omar Gonzalez. Defensively, the Galaxy right now, the ability to handle the crosses that he did consistently throughout the year, that also enabled up the field the players to play, like David Beckham and Landon Donovan, to play like that. That is really going to be a loss. So Bruce Arena's got his hands full with trying to figure out how to deal with that. But there are plenty of teams right now that have looked at this offseason as a way to get better. All over the league, obviously we have Montreal coming in. I think Portland's gotten better. I love what Sporting Kansas City has done because, you know, they last year were just a little naive and a little too young, a year older. If there's a team that I would pick as a possible MLS Cup, they are them, Sporting KC.
Beckham, of course, had talked to Paris Saint-Germain. How did it play in the over in the UK when it was decided he was going to go back to Los Angeles?
I don't think anybody was that particularly bothered, to be honest, Bob. Either way, it was a good choice, if you know what I mean. If he would have went to Paris Saint-Germain, he was going to a wonderful club, top of the league, wonderful city, you know, but he's decided to stay at home where he's happy and his kids are in school and his wife's happy. So it was a win-win situation for Beckham. It's great for the MLS that he's still here.
It's not win-win at the half of the Italian match with the USA. We are scoreless. United States looking for a first-ever victory. We get a result at free kick late in the first half. A great opportunity by Dempsey. No goals yet.